And what's going on, guys? Mini Call here coming at you with another video. This one is going to be kind of in regards to my initial thoughts on Colleen Wing, kind of where I see her fitting into the game, how the overall team seems to be functioning so far. Now, obviously, keep in mind this is a war defense team, and the other part of the team is currently missing. It is going to be Misty Knight. There are kind of rumors / data mines circulating it around that Misty Knight is going to be a Blitz release character as well. Colleen Wing, obviously, her first Blitz is, I believe, stated for May 20th, if I'm not mistaken. So just about 2 weeks away, give or take, from the time of recording this video. So I did unlock her yesterday. I got a little lucky, and I got a 5 red star on her as well, which is good. She is definitely going to be one of those type of characters that is very red star, gold star dependent. So the more stars you have on her, the better. So far, she is kind of hanging out at level 49, gear tier 9, and the only reason behind that is because I am very close to maxing out my gold milestones for the day. So I will get her up a little bit higher once server reset happens at about 3.5 hours from now. So kind of a couple things I am looking at her. I did just start in Dark Dimension 4, and keep in mind we are on Kale, so the bigger account of the two. So in Dark Dimension 4, I did just start the city nodes, and I definitely probably could have one-shotted it. I did play it a little sloppy, so I definitely will finish this node tomorrow at server reset, or at daily reset rather. I will start node 2. See how that goes, and then from everything I've kind of heard, read, seen, etc., the last node of Dark Dimension 4 for the city campaign is supposed to be pretty hard, so we'll see how that goes. But so I've kind of had a couple interesting thoughts on Colleen Wing, and one thing that is very unique with her is she is a city character, which, there aren't a lot of great city characters that I would say are Dark Dimension 4 or Dark Dimension 3 viable, but, she's a city character, but then most importantly, she's actually a skill character. And the skill part of the game, there are not a lot of good skill characters, and there are certainly even fewer skill characters that I would say are Dark Dimension 4 viable. So with her being kind of a high damage dealing character, and I already currently have a team of 4 to skill, bringing her up doesn't actually hurt any of my legendary Dark Dimension 4 characters. So I currently already have Phoenix up to gear tier 15. And I'm just basically working on a second, third, and fourth. And truly, it's just a race. I don't really have any preference over any of these characters. They are all unique requirements. So basically, whoever gets to gear first will be who's going in. But we've got Black Bolt, who is Bio. We've got Ebony Maw, who is Mystic. Jubilee, who is a mutant. And Dr. Octopus, who is a tech character. So, in the past, I've tried to only bring in 4 characters per Dark Dimension trait, just because it is kind of saved a little bit on the gear constraints, and that was definitely probably one of the early errors I made on with Kale. So with that being said, obviously 5-man teams are going to do better than 4-man teams. So if you can bring in a 5th character rather that is not going to cause any detriment to your next node selection, I say why not. So when looking at Colleen, she fits that bill. She's a city character, she's skill, so she is not going to take away from my next set of nodes, which is my legendary set. And even for my second run, I really don't have any current skill characters that I'm looking to take in for my second run. So there's also a possibility that down the road, she might be raid viable. I'm not too sure. That's something I will have to test out, but she might be Doom raid viable. But she will also be a really good war defense character, which, depending on where you are in the game, that's something to focus on. For Kale, endgame status, definitely looking at always kind of upping my war defense. And she is a good character, I think, for that. So we'll talk about a couple things with her. First and foremost, it goes without saying she is the perfect candidate for a striker. I don't really think any other ISO 8 class really fits her kit. So when we are talking about her kit, she is basically kind of a bleed monster. All of her attacks are applying bleeds. Now, I believe when the basic is T4'd, all of her bleeds do, I think it's 150% of her basic damage. So, when you're looking at her here, her damage is 60. We'll just call it 6,600 to make it even. So 150% of that would be just about 9,900. We'll just round that up to 10k. So every bleed is going to do about 10k worth of damage. So when you're looking at stuff like this, where, if this is T4'd, she's going to apply 2 bleeds for her basic attack, and then if she gets her ISO 8 bonus attack, that's another 2 bleeds. So right off the bat, we've got 4 bleeds from that, and then, the rest of her kit is just really designed to apply bleeds. So even if you didn't T4 this, the special, this is her special, will do an additional 3 bleeds to the primary target, and then her ultimate, kind of another thing, even if you don't T4 it, it's going to apply 3 bleeds to all enemy protectors, which is pretty cool. It's not going to apply bleeds to regular characters, but any protectors on the field, it's going to apply 3 bleeds. And then her passive over here is basically going to cause her to do her, I believe it's her basic attack. So again, I think it's one of those situations where it would have again potentially apply bleeds. And this attack is pretty cool. Her passive, it's obviously more effective when she's on a Heroes for Hire team, but every time someone goes, there is a additional chance to do a bonus attack. So really, she's just kind of attacking quite frequently, kind of in a way similar to Kestrel, but not as guaranteed since it is percent based, but it's still a really cool thing. So when we are looking at her moves, definitely this passive is certainly T4 worthy, increasing that damage to 200%. She's always going to counterattack. And then she's also going to gain an additional 20% block chance, which is really good. And then just in general, the rest of this is just really pretty cool. Looking at her ultimate over here, again, this is kind of another worthy T4 candidate, as it does apply heal block for 2 turns to all enemies, and this move has an extremely low cooldown. It's only 3 turns, so, again, definitely a strong candidate for a T4. Looking at this one, this one I would say is probably more a luxury T4, but still a good one, as it's going to apply 4 bleeds instead of 3, which is where it'll be at here. Definitely not required, but definitely a nice one to have. And then you've got her basic here, which is going to apply 2 bleeds, and this one I definitely think is a strong T4 candidate as well. Just because as an ISO 8 striker, she is going to be basically applying minimum of 2 bleeds every time she attacks someone with vulnerable, and if you are using her basic, she's applying up to 4 bleeds. And so when you are talking about, even at this low level, 4 bleeds per turn at 10,000 damage a pop, that's in addition to whatever damage she's actually doing. So when your enemy takes a turn, right off the bat, they're taking 40k of damage, and that's at this very low level here. So this definitely has the potential to scale really well, especially as her damage increases. Those bleeds are going to do more damage. But so looking at this, definitely ultimate, the ultimate here, the passive, and the basic are strong T4 candidates, and I would say the special is, a good T4, definitely more of a luxury T4, not necessarily a requirement. So now let's kind of just take her into Blitz. So we've kind of talked about where I kind of see her fitting in, kind of in my endgame strategy. She is, like I said, a great candidate, I think, for Dark Dimension 4, just as a bonus 5th character that is not going to hurt you anywhere else. There's potential for her to be Doom Raid viable, depending on how well her and Misty Knight kind of work together outside of War Defense. So let's kind of look. I've gotten kind of this little, hybrid team. It was originally my homeless city characters. So on this team in the past, I had Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and then I had Green Goblin and Vulture, and they were just kind of like my homeless city characters. So once Misty Knight does come out, Misty Knight obviously will slot into this team. But I did do a fight earlier with this team, and they did pretty well. I haven't really tried any kind of more challenging teams, and I don't know that they are really like, Marauders ready to go. Again, like I said, they are more designed at war defense, so kind of I think going against another strong war defense team, I don't necessarily think is probably the best way to test this team out, especially not without Misty Knight. Let's go in. We will do kind of a Asgardian fight. Again, these aren't really, I think, counters you would see in a normal kind of war situation. I don't know any people that really have full Asgardians on offense, but it just kind of shows, I guess, the potential of, how Colleen Wing works. I'm going to slow it down to 2 speed. So basically, with this team here, minus Jessica Jones, obviously, because she synergizes well with Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but doesn't really have any synergy with Colleen. But anytime Iron Fist or Luke Cage goes, there is a possibility of Colleen Wing over here basically doing her passive attack. So we'll go in, we'll do this fight. I'm honestly not too sure how well they're going to perform with this. And like I said, this doesn't really reflect this team very well. Again, we are still missing a crucial component. Since this is a 4-man team, essentially having that 4th character does make a big difference. But we're going to open up. We are going to start off with her ultimate here. So she's going to gain 1,000% focus. So for the most part, this should kind of be a unresistible attack as she gets higher up in power. Like I said, she is still quite weak right now, so there is still a chance it'll get resisted. But, that heal block should be kind of interesting. We'll see how that works with Asgardians. They are a kind of very heal-dependent team. So we did manage to get heal block across the way, which essentially negates Hela's passive with the Gregs and that healing aspect, as well as on every Asgardian turn, they would normally heal themselves a little bit. So, should be interesting. Let's see, we'll do a quick heal with Iron Fist, and that one did not trigger Colleen's passive. It only has a 25% chance. So obviously, if you have the full Heroes for Hire team with Misty Knight, you have 3 characters that could trigger that passive versus just the 2 that I currently have. But I'm sure we will probably get at least one passive attack, assuming Colleen doesn't die at any point. She is still quite squishy, being only level 49. Let's go ahead. We will taunt with Luke Cage. Hopefully take some heat off of Colleen Wing as well as our Vulture over here. Let's see, these low-keys all have dodge, so we'll just go in and basic attack. And you did just see there, Colleen Wing did just get her first passive attack. Now, that attack was landed basically just because a Heroes for Hire enemy attacked. And the probability of these kind of stacking up becomes really interesting, and that's definitely why I think Colleen Wing and Misty Knight in particular could become very interesting skill characters for stuff like the Doom Raids. So we're going to go in now, we're going to attack the primary target, we'll apply 2 bleeds, and this attack is also going to gain 60% piercing because we do have 2 Heroes for Hires, and she should also gain 3 deflects. So these deflects are definitely going to kind of help her survive a little bit. She is kind of, one of those squishier characters. A lot of the times, a lot of the brawlers, and not always so much with the brawlers, but more with the blasters, they are stronger characters, but they normally have low health and low defense. So we did just see there, unfortunately, Colleen Wing did go ahead and she got wiped out over there, which is fine. Like I said, I don't think that is a true reflection of how this team performs. She is still quite low, especially in comparison to the other 3 kind of OG defenders. We'll go in. We will probably lose this fight, but we'll finish this off real quick. We'll do another fight just to kind of see what happens, and I think kind of more of a, more realistic kind of fight. So let's just go in. I'm not really, I'm not trying to go hard for Electra, so I don't mind just going in and taking that lose and taking that defeat. Not a big deal. Like I said, I'm not trying to score high on Electra. I already have her maxed out. And I'm not interested in blitzing like a crazy person just to get 4 red stars on her, because I'm pretty sure I think I already have at least 4 on her anyway. So not really all that worried about it. Let's go in. Let's try it with this kind of inhuman shield team kind of going on. We'll see how they do with that. This is definitely, I think, something a little bit more realistic. Like I said, it's not a fully synergized team with Vulture kind of tagging along. I think with Misty Knight, who Colleen Wing is really seems to pair very well with, I think they're going to be kind of along those lines of some of like the dynamic duos. Maybe not to the extent of, say a Shatterstar and Longshot, but definitely I think maybe along the lines of, say, a Symbiote Spider-Man and Anti-Venom, where the two characters are just going to be, really good on their own, but when you bring them together, I think the synergy between them just makes them all that stronger. So we did get some heal blocks on the field. We got our ISO 8 bonus attack on Crystal. And again, one of the kind of bad things about, I guess, her current level is she is a little bit weaker, so some of her bleeds are getting resisted, which is definitely, I think, kind of a key component with her kit. I think as she gets stronger and, you actually see those bleeds kind of landing, it's definitely going to make more of a difference. Again, our Colleen Wing down here is near death, and that's going to take her out also. So while, again, these are proving to be very horrible tests, I promise that she actually did win the first fight I did with her. I think a lot of this is coming down to basically the level. So let's kind of scale down a little bit. That should have knocked us down to tier 6. And let's see if we can kind of get something a little bit more even. Yeah, let's give this one a try. We'll see. I can definitely do an updated kind of Colleen Wing kind of thoughts and impressions, especially after server reset today. I think I should be able to probably get her to either level 55 or level 60. And then, the corresponding ability and gear to that. So I think that'll definitely kind of give a little bit of a more realistic impression of how she's going to function. Happy there that Captain Marvel actually didn't delete Colleen, but you are seeing, so like with her bonus focus, all of her heal blocks are sticking, so at least that is functioning as intended. You did just see there Colleen did her passive bonus attack because Iron Fist went. Let's go ahead and delete Captain America real fast, which I just realized Minerva is going to res him anyway. Her bonus attack really is kind of where that potential is. And with that passive attack, if I am understanding it correctly, if she was at a higher level, those passive attacks should be applying bleeds. The issue I'm running into is the enemies I'm facing are much stronger than my Colleen Wing, and because of that, she's getting deleted. So, or not getting deleted, which is also happening, but she's getting resisted for the bleeds. We did just lose Colleen Wing again, so we will go ahead and quit this battle as well. I think that might be it for my 25 refreshes. Let me see. Bear with me for just a second, y'all. All right, actually, so we have one more. So we are now down to tier 5, and if you're looking here, now we're kind of seeing enemies kind of more along our Colleen's power. So let's go in. This is kind of a hodgepodge team. I would like to get at least one successful blitz fight on camera. I think I actually could have probably brought in Daredevil, and that would have synergized a little bit better with the 3 defenders, but I think that also skews the results a little bit. So, this is really kind of a test of the heroes for hire, and I don't want to bring in Daredevil, who really has good synergy with his other, three former defenders. So we went in there again. We got the heal block on everyone except for Domino over here, and that's because she dodged it. I'd have to read the verbiage, but I think when she's paired with Misty Knight, I know things become unblockable. I'm not sure if they become undodgeable also, so we'll read that on our next turn and see if having Misty Knight on the field would have made a difference with that. We're going to go in, we'll get some defense ups for everyone. This fight is definitely going a lot better than the previous ones. Again, trying to run a lower character kind of at the tier 6, 7, and 8 level of Blitz definitely becomes a bit more challenging. Let's see. All right, so no passive on that one. Just curious. So if Misty Knight would have been our ally here, that heal block would have actually landed on Domino because it would have become undodgeable. But because she's not here, Domino dodged. But let's go in. We will pop this. We got some bleeds on the field, which is nice. And this is the first time where Misty Knight is not being, targeted, which is good. We'll go in, and so now one of the things I am liking about having Jessica Jones on this team is with her special, not only does she clear debuffs, but she has the potential to give energy to Colleen Wing, and Colleen Wing's ultimate is already a very low cooldown at 3, so if she can get up to potentially 2 energy, that means you could be doing her ultimate like every other turn, which is really pretty cool. Obviously not the case when it just did randomly go to Vulture, but it does have potential for that. There's some things I think I need to work on with this team as far as making sure that there are a lot of vulnerables on the field. So I do have Jessica Jones as a skirmisher. Currently, I have Luke Cage as a protector and then Iron Fist as a healer. Something I think I might consider is maybe possibly putting Luke Cage as a skirmisher. Just for, I just kind of have to play around with it a little bit. I also need to look at Misty Knight's kit and kind of see where she fits into the picture, because you want those vulnerables on the field. That way, Misty Knight is basically, applying as many of those bleeds as possible. But we managed to do this fight. I wouldn't necessarily say it was because of Colleen Wing. But she did a good job. Like I said, I think when she is at a higher level, she's going to function a lot better as a character. So those are just some initial impressions of the Heroes for Hire. I can do an updated video if anyone's interested once I kind of get her to a more viable level. And then I can also do a updated video once we kind of get into actually having Misty Knight in the game and see kind of how that 4-man team functions with Jessica Jones as a 5th. So as always, please like and subscribe if you did find this video helpful. Thank you again so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and take it easy.